moon is a hologram, a deep dive into a hidden truth. Tonight, we're going to explore a theory that challenges one of the most universally accepted assumptions in human history, that the moon is a physical, celestial object. What if everything we know about the moon is a lie? What if the moon is a hologram, not just a metaphor or illusion, but an actual projected image, possibly engineered by ancient intelligence, advanced technology, or even the governments that control our skies? Let's explore the rabbit hole. Chapter 1. The origins of the moon hologram theory. This theory isn't new. It began gaining serious traction in the early 2000s, with independent researchers and astronomers noting something strange during close observations of the moon: waves, glitches, ripples across the lunar surface, almost like a screen briefly malfunctioning. In 2012, a YouTuber going by the name Crow recorded what he called the lunar wave, a shimmering ripple that appeared to pass over the moon, similar to a digital refresh on a television screen. This footage, captured through a high-powered telescope and verified by others, was the spark that reignited interest in the theory. Chapter 2. The lunar wave. Visual evidence. The lunar wave footage isn't an isolated incident. Since then, dozens of similar recordings have surfaced online from independent astronomers worldwide, from the United States to Russia, from amateur stargazers to professionals. You can find many of these recordings on Crow's official website and YouTube archive. Multiple videos show what appears to be a horizontal distortion moving across the moon, as if a holographic projector were briefly misaligned. Some claim this wave is most visible during certain lunar phases, particularly when the moon is full or nearly full, suggesting this might be when the projection system is under the most strain. Chapter 3. The moon doesn't behave like a rock. Think about this. The moon is exactly 400 times smaller than the sun, and exactly 400 times closer to Earth, making it perfectly fit over the sun during a solar eclipse. That's a mathematical coincidence so extreme it feels designed. And then there's the fact that the moon always shows the same face to Earth. We're told this is due to synchronous rotation, but some argue that's a convenient way to avoid discussing why we never see the dark side. Also worth noting, during lunar eclipses, stars have reportedly been seen through the moon. Russian astronomers, including Dr. Vladimir Kotelnikov, claimed to witness stars flicker into view while the moon was in eclipse, a phenomenon that makes little sense if the moon is a solid object. Chapter 4. Ancient records and lunar mythology. Many ancient civilizations, including the Zulu of South Africa and pre-Columbian Mesoamerican cultures, have legends of a time before the moon existed. Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa described how the moon was brought here by two brothers, Wawane and Mpanku, who were gods or extraterrestrial beings. They allegedly rolled the moon into the sky like a wheel. The Greek philosopher Anaxagoras also spoke of a time before the moon and theorized it was a reflection or a translucent body. These myths, when taken collectively, raise an eerie question: what if the moon is not just artificial, but manufactured? Chapter 5. Projected celestial bodies in science. The idea of projecting celestial bodies isn't as impossible as it seems. We already use high-altitude projection systems for weather and military purposes. Companies like Disney have long experimented with sky-projected holograms, and Japan's Sky Canvas project aims to create artificial meteor showers using satellite-launched particles. Is it really such a leap to believe a more advanced civilization, or even a secret military program, could project something much larger? And remember, the US military has long studied deception in warfare. Project Bluebeam, a conspiracy theory surrounding the use of holographic projections to simulate divine apparitions or alien invasions, could easily be adapted to explain a projected moon. Chapter 6. Secrecy and censorship. Mainstream media rarely touches the moon hologram theory, and when it does, it's often in a mocking or dismissive tone. YouTube has allegedly shadow-banned channels covering the lunar wave, and algorithms appear to push such content deep into obscurity. But why censor something if it's so absurd? Reddit threads discussing the moon glitch are often removed for lack of scientific rigor. Astronomers who speak out about the anomalies are laughed out of academic circles. But every time this theory gets buried, more independent footage emerges. Chapter 7. Hypotheses. Who and why? So let's ask, if the moon is a hologram, who projected it? And why? Theory 1. An ancient alien civilization. The moon serves as a monitoring station or observation screen, projecting light to hide the real satellite or ship behind it. Theory 2. Earth matrix control grid. The moon is part of the frequency system that governs Earth. It's projecting light that affects your behavior, mental states, or even time perception. Think of it as a signal tower. Theory 3. Deep state military technology. An ongoing global experiment or PSYOP. The moon is a hologram created as part of Project Bluebeam, or an experiment in planetary scale psychological manipulation. Each theory sounds outrageous until you watch the footage. Chapter 8. Final thoughts. The moon has been with us forever. It lights our night skies, controls our tides, and inspires poetry, science, and song. But what if it's all an illusion? Footage of the lunar wave, eyewitness accounts of stars shining through the moon, ancient stories from around the world, mathematical improbabilities. They all point to one conclusion: the moon might not be what we think it is. Before you dismiss this as fringe nonsense, look for yourself. Watch the videos, research the myths, question the logic. The truth is often stranger than fiction, and sometimes it's hiding right above our heads. The Black Knight satellite, Earth's 13,000-year-old guardian or watcher. What if I told you that orbiting Earth is an object older than all of human civilization? An ancient satellite, not built by us, that has been circling our planet for at least 13,000 years, quietly watching, listening, waiting. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most mysterious and least understood anomalies in modern history, the Black Knight satellite. Chapter 1. What is the Black Knight satellite? It's been called a satellite, a relic, a probe, even a sentinel. The Black Knight satellite refers to an unidentified object that has allegedly been detected in polar orbit around Earth, a type of orbit humans didn't master until the 1960s. It's described as a dark, tumbling mass, unnatural in shape, erratic in motion, and resistant to identification. And according to some researchers, it's been there long before any human technology made it possible. Chapter 2. Historical clues. The timeline. This isn't a recent phenomenon. The story of the Black Knight stretches across more than a century of strange discoveries, scientific anomalies, and intercepted signals. 1899. Nikola Tesla claimed he had received radio signals from space while experimenting with high-voltage radio transmissions in Colorado Springs. He believed they were intelligent communications, possibly from Mars or another celestial entity. Tesla himself wrote, "The feeling is constantly growing on me that I had been the first to hear the greeting of one planet to another." 1928. Norwegian engineer Jørgen Hals detected what are now called long-delay echoes, radio signals that bounced back to him seconds after transmission, something not explainable with conventional Earth-based reflection. Some researchers now believe these LDs were relayed by the Black Knight. 1954, multiple newspapers, including the St. Louis Dispatch and San Francisco Examiner, reported that 2 satellites were detected orbiting Earth, years before any nation launched an artificial satellite. UFO researcher Donald Kehoe suggested that these were not man-made. 1960, the US Department of Defense officially detected an unknown object in polar orbit, a feat not yet possible for any spacefaring nation. The object was black, large, and not part of any known satellite catalogue. Time magazine reported this event in an article dated March 7, 1960. Chapter 3. The visual evidence. NASA's photos. The most famous visual evidence came in 1998 during the STS-88 mission, the first shuttle mission to the International Space Station. Astronauts aboard the Endeavour took a series of photographs of a strange, dark object floating freely in low Earth orbit. The object had jagged, angular features, unlike any satellite or space debris. It appeared to change shape from different angles and did not resemble anything documented by NASA. You can still find these images on NASA's official archive. Many claim this is undeniable photographic evidence of the Black Knight satellite. NASA's explanation? Thermal blanket. But skeptics have noted the object's movement, complexity, and orbital behavior are inconsistent with that claim. Chapter 4. Why it's so hard to track. The black night is elusive. It has reportedly been seen on radar, captured in infrared, and even disappeared when observation intensified. Its orbit is inconsistent. Some astronomers describe it as tumbling, sometimes slow, sometimes erratic. Others claim it changes position or speed with no natural explanation. Amateur radio operators have claimed to intercept coded signals believed to be transmissions from the satellite. Some have decoded what they interpret as a map of Earth from 13,000 years ago, further fueling belief that the object is extraterrestrial in origin. A particularly interesting case is researcher Duncan Lunan, who suggested that the satellite signals, when decoded, contained a message from a star system called Epsilon Bootis, claiming to be a message from an ancient civilization reaching out to us. Chapter 5. Theories on its origin. There are multiple schools of thought on what the Black Night actually is. Theory 1, an ancient alien probe. Some believe it was sent here by an extraterrestrial civilization as a monitoring station, silently recording human development since the dawn of our species. This would explain its orbital longevity and apparent intelligence. Theory 2, a relic of a lost human civilization. Others think the Black Night could be a remnant of a pre-Ice Age civilization that achieved spaceflight. This theory aligns with the increasing evidence that humanity may have reached high levels of technology before being wiped out by cataclysm. Theory 3, a time-displaced artifact. There's also the idea that the object is not alien at all, but rather human technology sent from the future, looping through time as part of a paradox we can't yet comprehend. Theory 4, interdimensional surveillance. The object may not even be fully in our reality. Some theorists believe it slips between dimensions, only occasionally visible or trackable in ours. Chapter 6. The message. If the Black Night is real and intelligent, what is it doing here? Some believe it's watching, like a galactic sentry, a warning beacon, a recording device, a protector, or even a prison guard. The theory goes that the satellite is monitoring humanity to prevent us from becoming a threat, either to ourselves or others. Its silence might not mean passivity. It may mean it's waiting for a specific trigger, a technological threshold, a certain global frequency, something that tells it we're ready or dangerous. Chapter 7. The silence of NASA and global agencies. NASA has never officially acknowledged the Black Night as a legitimate object. When questioned, they typically reference the 1998 STS-88 photos as debris, but have never addressed the earlier detections or the polar orbit anomaly of 1960. Why? Some believe it's being kept secret as part of a global initiative to prevent public panic. If humanity found out that a 13,000-year-old alien satellite had been watching us, everything, religion, science, history, would be questioned overnight. The more researchers dig, the more resistance they face. Shadow banning on social platforms, Reddit threads removed, Wikipedia edits erased. Chapter 8. The Black Night in Culture and Ancient Records. Ancient cultures spoke of dark watchers in the sky. The Dogon tribe of Mali described an invisible companion to Sirius long before modern astronomy confirmed Sirius B. Babylonian records mention dark stars. Could the Black Night have been seen or sensed in ancient times? In modern culture, the Black Night pops up in movies, games and music, but always in shadow, always in the background, like something trying to whisper to the world without being seen directly. Conclusion: the truth above us. The Black Night satellite defies explanation. It doesn't fit into our understanding of human history, astronomy or physics, and yet the stories, the evidence, the patterns, they persist. An ancient object orbiting Earth, emitting signals, defying classification, ignored by those in power. It may be nothing, or it may be everything, a cosmic mirror, a probe from our true creators, a silent judge. And it's still up there, waiting. The day the world ended, the Large Hadron Collider and the hidden collapse of reality. Imagine waking up one morning in a world that looks exactly the same, but isn't. What if the Large Hadron Collider, the most powerful machine on Earth, didn't just smash particles, but accidentally smashed our entire reality? Tonight, we're not talking about science fiction. We're digging into one of the most chilling theories out there, that the Large Hadron Collider at CERN ended the world in 2012, and that everything since then has been a simulation, alternate dimension, or false continuity we've mistaken for normal life. This is not a joke. This is the theory, backed by eerie coincidences, missing records, strange behavior in time and consciousness, and even subtle admissions by CERN itself. Let's begin. Chapter 1. What is the Large Hadron Collider? The Large Hadron Collider, located near Geneva on the border of France and Switzerland, is the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator. It's run by CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. The machine was designed to answer deep questions about the universe by colliding particles at near-light speeds. Its most famous discovery was the Higgs boson, also called the God particle, in 2012. But what happened after that is what matters. Chapter 2, 2012. In 2012, the LHC discovered the Higgs boson. The media celebrated it as a scientific triumph. But behind closed doors, whispers began to emerge that something else happened. Dr. Sergio Bertolucci, former director for research and scientific computing at CERN, once said, "Out of this door might come something, and it could be sending us a message or it could be destroying us." Let that sink in. That same year, rumours swirled that the LHC may have created a miniature black hole, one capable of tearing spacetime. The world didn't end in fire. It ended in a blink. We were shifted. Chapter 3. Mandela effects and timeline drift. Suddenly, after 2012, strange things began to happen on a global consciousness level. People remembered events and logos differently, like Nelson Mandela dying in prison, the Berenstain Bears being spelled Berenstein, and the Monopoly Man having a monocle. This phenomenon, now known as the Mandela effect, affects millions of people. The theory? That our timelines split or collapsed during the LHC's experiment, and we were shunted into a close but imperfect copy of our original universe. Even the creator of the term, Fiona Broome, believes the shift happened sometime around 2012. Chapter 4. The Lost Decade. Think about it. What happened between 2012 and now? Culturally, politically, socially, things feel strange, chaotic, broken, unstable. Many believe the world has been in a slow unraveling ever since 2012. Time feels different. Events feel disconnected. Reality seems thin. The phrase "we're living in a simulation" has gone from fringe conspiracy to pop culture cliché. Even tech billionaire Elon Musk said, "There's a 1,000,000,000 chance we're in base reality." Chapter 5. CERN's own symbolism. CERN isn't just a science facility. Its symbolism is blatant. At its entrance is a statue of Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction and rebirth. Shiva dances the Tandava, the cosmic dance of creation and annihilation. Why would a particle physics lab honor a god of destruction? Furthermore, CERN's logo suspiciously resembles 3 overlapping sixes. 666, the so-called number of the beast. Coincidence or coded message? And in 2016, CERN employees were filmed conducting what appeared to be a mock human sacrifice in front of the Shiva statue. Though dismissed as a prank, CERN never fully explained the incident. Chapter 6. Black holes and strangelets. According to leaked papers and whistleblowers, the LHC may have briefly created a microscopic black hole or strangelet, an ultra-dense particle that could begin converting all surrounding matter. CERN always claimed such black holes would evaporate instantly. But what if it didn't? Some physicists, like Dr. Otto Rossler, warned that the LHC could produce stable black holes and said, CERN might be risking the extinction of the planet. Could this extinction have been metaphysical instead of physical? Chapter 7. The Missing Scientists. Between 2011 and 2013, a disturbing number of CERN-related researchers reportedly died, vanished, or left the field. Dr. Timothy Maynard, an American physicist scheduled to tour the LHC in 2012, disappeared en route. His last known communication was a text message to his wife that said, "Something is wrong, not what we thought." Mainstream media buried these disappearances, but forums and leaks have preserved the stories. Chapter 8. Leaked Messages and the Shift. Several anonymous whistleblowers on platforms like 4chan and Reddit have posted detailed accounts of a shift in reality following CERN experiments. One post from 2017 claimed, "You are living in a copy. The original version of Earth was destroyed. The elite know. That's why the world feels off." Another insider posted a file called mirror0.dat, supposedly pulled from internal CERN servers. It contained garbled binary code, but when decoded it read, "Event confirmed. Mirror state stable, containment active, Chapter 9, D-Wave and the AI connection." CERN isn't alone in these experiments. Around the same time, D-Wave Systems, a quantum computing company, started speaking about pulling resources from alternate timelines. Their lead scientist, Geordie Rose, gave a talk describing their technology as standing at the altar of an alien god. What are they accessing? Are CERN and D-Wave linked? Bridging realities and computing in ways that tamper with the very fabric of the multiverse? Chapter 10, The Final Seal. Every year since 2012, CERN has scheduled more intense experiments, higher energies, deeper collisions, and every year the world feels more unhinged. Many now believe the original Earth ended in 2012 when the LHC opened a tear in space-time. What we're experiencing is either a backup simulation, an alternate dimension, or a controlled dream state reality created to contain the fallout. This is the new world. Glitched, fragile, unstable. We may never return to what was, but if you felt something was wrong, you're not alone. You were right. Chapter 11, 2025, The Portal Event. In May of 2025, CERN conducted one of its most ambitious high-energy tests yet, colliding lead ions at unprecedented levels. Shortly after, reports began to emerge across fringe science communities and encrypted forums. Several independent researchers claimed they had detected gravitational anomalies and EM distortions around the CERN facility, but the most disturbing claim? That portals had opened and that entities or beings had entered through them. One alleged insider post read, "We've crossed into something else." The machine didn't just observe, it invited. While no mainstream outlet covered it, a site called quantumveil.org published a deep dive on what they dubbed the portal event, claiming the rift lasted 7.4 seconds and that several personnel were immediately transferred off-site. Witnesses near the facility described seeing the sky ripple like water and hearing a deep harmonic tone vibrate through the earth. CERN has denied everything, but satellite footage, leaked seismic logs, and first-hand witness accounts remain, mostly scrubbed but archived by independent investigators. If this was the final tear, it may already be too late. Conclusion, the truth in the cracks. CERN will never admit what happened, the elite will keep smiling, but some of us remember the dreams, the lost names, the timelines that don't match. Look deeper, trust the cracks in your memory, because the world ended once, and we're living in what came next. Thanks for watching. Stay aware, stay awake, and remember, nothing is as it seems. The Chronovisor and the Secrets of Time. Have you ever wondered why the Vatican, a religious institution, has one of the most secure, secretive archives in the world? Why an organization centered around faith has amassed not just texts, but rumored technology locked away behind centuries-old doors, guarded by Swiss soldiers with weapons and silence? What if I told you that hidden within those ancient walls lies a device so powerful, so incomprehensible, that it could shake the very foundation of human history itself? This is the story of the Chronovisor, the alleged time-viewing device kept in the vaults of the Vatican. Let's begin. Chapter 1. A machine that sees through time. The Chronovisor. Not a time machine in the traditional sense, no swirling portals or DeLoreans here, but something even stranger, a viewing device, a television for time. According to multiple sources, most famously Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a Benedictine monk and respected exorcist, the Chronovisor was a collaborative creation built in the 1950s and 60s by a team of scientists that included Enrico Fermi and Werner von Braun. Yes, the same Fermi behind the Fermi paradox, and the same von Braun who led NASA's rocket program. The Vatican doesn't deny that these men were affiliated with church interests. Ernetti claimed the device could tune into specific frequencies in the electromagnetic remnants of the past, picking up echoes, images, even sounds from any moment in time. He said he saw the crucifixion of Christ, not read it, saw it. Chapter 2, Father Annetti's Confession. Father Annetti revealed the chronovisor's existence to the world in the 1970s, publishing articles and participating in interviews. He claimed the machine looked like a box of cathode ray tubes, dials and antennae wrapped in metal and mystery. It worked by capturing residual vibrations. All events in time, he claimed, leave a kind of energy fingerprint. He said he witnessed speeches by Napoleon, watched Mussolini during World War II, and even recorded lost tragedies by Roman playwrights like the lost play Thyestes by Quintus Ennius. Before his death, Annetti allegedly signed a sealed letter stating, "The chronovisor is real. It is hidden in the Vatican." Chapter 3, Why Time Viewing Matters. Now imagine what this means. A machine that allows a select few to view any moment in history. Think about the power that would give a religious or political institution. Control of narrative, control of proof, control of truth. History becomes editable. Religion becomes demonstrable. Secrets are no longer secret, at least not to them. What could the Vatican do with that kind of control? Or maybe a better question is, what are they already doing with it? Chapter 4, Hints Buried in Plain Sight. Many Vatican paintings and sculptures are often said to carry hidden messages. Look closely at depictions of divine visions, heavenly screens, glowing discs. Could they be visual metaphors for the chronovisor? Were the prophets seeing divine truth, or being shown something by an ancient prototype of this machine? There's a fresco in the Church of the Gesù in Rome that shows what some interpret as a figure watching something like a screen with beams of light emerging from a box. Coincidence or encoded memory? Chapter 5, Modern-Day Silence. After Annetti's revelations, the Vatican made no formal statement about the chronovisor, but insiders claim the device was dismantled and hidden away, not destroyed, not broken, but simply locked away. Why? To prevent misuse? According to some whispers, the Vatican issued a classified internal order. Any attempt to recreate or use the chronovisor without authorization is grounds for excommunication, which raises an obvious question. If the machine is fake, why threaten eternal damnation for trying to build it? Chapter 6, Government Interest and Collusion. The CIA and NSA reportedly tried to replicate the chronovisor. According to leaked documents on conspiracy forums and dark web dumps, Project Looking Glass may have been the American effort to build a similar device. The Vatican, with its millennia-old power networks, likely struck deals. In exchange for silence, they were granted security, protection, a seat at the secret table. If multiple governments were trying to see through time, and some succeeded, then perhaps our timeline isn't as random as it seems. Chapter 7, Time Tourism for the Elite. Here's where it gets darker. What if the chronovisor, or its upgraded successors, are being used by the elite for time tourism, to witness the great secrets of history, to record and sell access to events that shaped the world? What if they're watching the fall of Atlantis, the Library of Alexandria before it burned, the moment man was first engineered or seeded or summoned? And what if some of them aren't just watching, but interacting? Chapter 8, Mass Disinformation and Erasure. Search the word chronovisor on most mainstream platforms and you'll find ridicule, suppression and dismissals. But in the early 2000s, several PDFs and articles discussing Annetti's device disappeared from major databases. Even Wikipedia's version feels sterilized, minimized. Why the cleanup? Why now? Because truth leaks, and belief spreads like fire. Chapter 9, The Ethical Dilemma. Imagine seeing the true past, not the version edited in schoolbooks. The raw, unfiltered, unholy truth. Would it destroy faith or validate it? Would it collapse governments who built their narratives on lies? This may be why the Vatican keeps it hidden, not out of selfishness, but survival. For the Church, for humanity, or perhaps for reality itself. Because maybe seeing too much destabilizes the mind. Maybe we're not supposed to know. Not yet. Chapter 10, Whispers in the Present. In recent years, new rumors say the chronovisor was turned back on. That during a secret meeting between tech moguls and church leaders, permission was given for limited reactivation. Some say they've seen strange equipment being moved into the Vatican under heavy guard, Others claim to have intercepted scrambled broadcasts in languages long dead. One alleged audio file featured a man screaming, then whispering, "They're watching us from before we were born, whatever it is. It's not over. The machine is still real. Still hidden, still watching." Conclusion, look to the walls. They say the Vatican walls are thick, lined with marble, guarded by time. But maybe, just maybe, those walls don't just guard the past. Maybe they see it. And if the chronovisor exists, then so does everything else they've told you is myth. Atlantis, Eden, angels, demons, even God. Maybe the answers aren't lost. Maybe they're just being kept from you forever. And the machine that holds them, still humming behind locked doors. The Denver Airport conspiracy, the nexus of power, prophecy, and hidden agendas. Imagine landing in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, expecting just another airport. But something feels wrong. The air is heavy, the energy is off, and the moment you step into the Denver International Airport, it's like you've entered a gateway, not to another city, but to another realm. This isn't just an airport. This is a symbol, a monument, a message. For decades, whispers have echoed about what's truly buried beneath the runways, what lurks behind the murals, and who, or what, built this strange, symbolic fortress in the first place. Let's pull back the veil. Chapter 1. The airport that shouldn't exist. Denver International Airport opened in 1995. But the first red flag? It didn't need to exist. The old Stapleton Airport was fully functional and capable. But for some reason, billions of dollars were sunk into this massive new project, one filled with delays, budget overflows, and inexplicable decisions. The final cost? Nearly $5 billion, a staggering $2 billion over budget. Where did that money go? Construction crews reported oddities, disconnected buildings, buried structures, underground tunnels stretching for miles, most of them sealed off to this day. Chapter 2. The bizarre blueprint. From above, the runways form the shape of a swastika. It's not a stretch, it's a fact. This isn't an innocent design choice. The layout could have taken any form, but instead it mirrors an ancient symbol tied to authoritarianism, hidden orders, and dark intentions. Some say this is a nod, a signal to those who know what this airport truly represents. And then there's the capstone. Near the terminal, a granite plaque sealed by the New World Airport Commission. Except that commission doesn't exist. It never did. It's a phantom name, engraved in stone, staring travelers in the face. Chapter 3. Underground Secrets. Workers who helped build the airport spoke of a labyrinth beneath the runways, multi-layered tunnels, massive storage rooms, and bunkers deeper than anyone could explain. Some say these tunnels are interconnected with military bases like NORAD. Others claim they lead to underground cities built for the elite, ready to be activated when global catastrophe hits. But there's more, much more. Strange noises echo through the tunnels. Automated carts move on their own, surveillance beyond airport security norms, doors that go nowhere, elevators to unlisted sublevels. Chapter 4. The Murals of Prophecy. Inside the terminal, you'll find 2 towering murals by artist Leo Tanguma. On the surface, they depict war, peace, and unity. But look deeper. One shows a gas-masked soldier looming over children and burning cities, aligned with grieving others holding dead infants. The second displays a resurrected forest, yes, but with oddly Aryan children and the extinction of specific animal species. These aren't murals, they're warnings, stories written in colour and canvas, and they align almost perfectly with New World Order ideologies. Selective rebirth, global control, and post-apocalyptic utopia. Chapter 5. Lucifer, the Demon Horse. As you drive into the airport, a massive blue horse greets you, or rather, haunts you. Lucifer, as locals call him, is a 32-foot demonic steed with glowing red eyes. It literally killed its creator, Luis Jimenez, when a piece of it fell and severed an artery. Why would an airport welcome you with a death horse? Why the glowing eyes? Why the aggressive posture? It's not a welcome, it's a warning. Chapter 6. The Illuminati's Airport. Many believe the Denver Airport is the western hub of the Illuminati, a control center for when global chaos strikes. It's in the perfect location, elevated, central, isolated. Some believe the global elite, already have safe havens deep beneath the structure. The airport may serve as the final ark, the last bastion of humanity, selected not by merit but by bloodline. The mysterious time capsule buried at the site, it's set to be opened in 2094. What message waits inside and why that specific date? Chapter 7, Connections to Nazi Science and Occult Knowledge. Reports have surfaced of old Nazi documents hidden in storage rooms. Whispers of real energy, ancient occult rituals, and experimental technologies being developed, all beneath the guise of transportation. And don't forget the swastika-shaped runway. The symbolism stacks, repeatedly. Chapter 8, The Alien and Reptilian Link. Strange sightings have occurred for years. Unmarked aircraft entering secret hangars, unidentified lights beneath the tarmac, and even passengers claiming to have seen humanoid creatures through maintenance vents. Some suggest the airport is a neutral zone for interdimensional beings. Others say reptilians work alongside military and global elites underground. One leaked report described a sublevel known as Grid Omega, a biotech lab focused on DNA sampling, consciousness transfer, and hybrid experimentation. Chapter 9, The Symbolic Artifacts and Hidden Messages. All around the airport, you'll find gargoyles in suitcases, strange inscriptions in Braille and unknown languages, markings no one can identify. There's even an animatronic talking gargoyle now, installed as fun art, but it jokes about the Illuminati and underground bunkers. It knows too much. These aren't decorations, they're signposts. Chapter 10, The Airport Admits Everything, as a joke. In recent years, DA has leaned into the conspiracy, running ad campaigns with slogans like, "Are we hiding aliens? Only if they're friendly." Murals have been temporarily covered with signs that say, "What are we doing behind this wall? Building a better airport? Or a new lizard headquarters?" Mockery, classic deflection. But ask yourself, why address it at all, unless something truly unnerving lingers behind those walls? Conclusion. Truth hidden in plain sight. The Denver International Airport isn't just an airport, it's a temple of secrets, a shrine to the world that once was, and the world that's coming. From its cryptic murals to its underground labyrinth, from the killer horse to the capstone that names a fictional group, every piece fits a puzzle most people are too afraid to solve. You don't have to believe, but when the skies fall and the elite vanish below the surface, remember where they went. Denver, always Denver. Look around, the truth isn't hidden. It's right there in the open, daring you to see it. Let me ask you something that might just change the way you look at every dollar you've ever earned. What if I told you that time travelers are real and that they've been manipulating the stock market from behind the scenes for decades? No, this isn't just some science fiction rabbit hole. This is a story that starts with patterns too perfect to be coincidence, market moves that defy logic, and profits so precise they suggest something much more than luck. This is about the possibility that individuals, or even entire organizations, have found a way to loop through time, and they're using that power not to save the world, but to make a killing on Wall Street. Let's go back to 2003, when a man named Andrew Carlson was arrested by the SEC. Why? Because he took $800 and, in just 2 weeks, turned it into $350 million. Every single trade he made was flawless. Not one loss, not one bad prediction. He was accused of insider trading, of course. What else could explain it? But when questioned, Carlson made a claim that shocked everyone. He said he was a time traveler from the year 2256. He claimed he knew which stocks would rise, which companies would fall, and even what days to buy and sell with absolute precision. The strangest part, after his bail was mysteriously paid, he vanished, never seen again. No birth record, no trace, just gone. Now, skeptics chalk it up to urban legend. But let me ask you this. How many other names have slipped through the cracks? How many perfect trades have been written off as coincidence? Let's take a look at the concept of high-frequency trading, computer algorithms that buy and sell stocks in milliseconds. These systems are so fast, they react to market shifts before most humans can blink. But what if they weren't just fast? What if they were using data from the future? What if the people building these systems have already seen tomorrow's headlines? Think about quantum computing. We know governments and corporations are pouring billions into it, D-Wave, Google, IBM, they all say their machines are unlocking new dimensions of processing power. But there's speculation, even among physicists, that quantum computers could eventually tap into alternate timelines. Could these machines be giving traders glimpses into the future? Could Wall Street itself be a battlefield for time travelers? And then there's the curious case of Ronald Ray Riley, a relatively unknown investor who in 1999 predicted, down to the day, the crash of the dot-com bubble. Not just the general trend, he had specific numbers. Then again, in 2007, he predicted the 2008 financial crisis months before any major economist dared to speak up. He claimed his insight came from an understanding of cycles beyond your comprehension. Those were his words, cycles beyond our comprehension. Let's look at the stock ticker patterns. Analysts and data scientists have found fractals within the market, self-repeating patterns that mimic the structures of nature, even human behavior. But some of these patterns repeat over timelines that shouldn't make sense. Days that mirror events from years ago. Stocks behaving the same way at the same time, years apart. Almost as if someone is resetting the board. Now zoom out. Consider the missing trillions from the Pentagon. Remember when Donald Rumsfeld announced in 2001 that $2.3 trillion had disappeared from defense accounting? It happened on September 10th, one day before 9/11. That news was swallowed whole by the chaos of the next day. But where did that money go? Some theorists believe it was funneled into black budget programs exploring the boundaries of time itself. Even whistleblowers from these black projects, like John Titor, who claimed to be a soldier from the year 2036, have hinted that Wall Street is the true reason for time travel experimentation. Not to stop wars, not to alter history, but to profit. There's more. Ever notice how certain stocks seem to skyrocket after unexpected tragedies or global events? Almost like someone knew it would happen. Companies stockpiling specific materials months before a war. CEOs resigning right before market crashes. Corporations buying life insurance policies on employees weeks before fatal accidents. Could these be the footprints of those who have already seen the path? Let's get even wilder. There are hidden investor groups, private funds so secretive that even their filings are encrypted or obscured. And yet, their portfolios yield consistent, almost magical returns. Names like Black Swan Group or Chrono Trust Capital have popped up in online leaks, only to disappear. Some believe these aren't firms at all, but collectives of time-displaced investors pooling future knowledge for unimaginable gain. And the technology to do this? Some say it doesn't require massive machines anymore. Rumors swirl about wearable tech, small bracelet-like devices used by travelers to anchor themselves across timelines. Sightings of strange silver wristbands have been reported at NASDAQ and NYSE trading floors, worn by high-profile traders who never grant interviews, who never lose. Even in mainstream science, the idea of retrocausality is gaining ground, the notion that the future can influence the past. If that's true, then it means trades placed today could be influenced by events from tomorrow. And if the quantum universe allows for time to be a loop rather than a straight line, then those who master that loop control the world. So, the next time you see the market crash, the next time a stock jumps without warning, or a billionaire makes a move that seems too lucky to be true, ask yourself, who's really behind the curtain? What do they know that we don't? And more importantly, how far into the future have they already been? Because the truth may not be that someone is predicting the market. It may be that they're remembering it. And you're just living in the aftermath of their trades. Let me ask you something you probably haven't truly considered before. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Seriously, take a moment. Why is it that in our cities, where pigeons swarm like feathered shadows, not one person can recall seeing a nest, an egg, or even a baby? Why is it that these birds, so commonplace and ignored, are everywhere, and yet their life cycle is a complete mystery? This isn't a joke. This is the beginning of one of the most explosive conspiracies of the modern age, that birds, as we know them, are not real. That what you think is a natural creature fluttering across the sky is actually a government surveillance drone, part of a decades-old operation to monitor, record, and control. According to the theory, birds have been replaced. phased out, eliminated by the very institutions we're supposed to trust. The United States government, starting in the mid-20th century, began a systematic program to eradicate real birds, and in their place, install nearly perfect robotic replicas equipped with cameras, microphones, facial recognition, and even atmospheric sensors. You think that chirp outside your window is innocent? It could be the sound of your data being uploaded to a remote surveillance hub. Let's dive deeper. In the 1950s, the CIA was at the height of its paranoia. The Cold War had triggered a boom in spy technology, but even satellites had blind spots. Spies on foot were too vulnerable. So a new plan was drafted. What if surveillance could move through the air, unnoticed, natural, blending perfectly with the environment? According to leaked documents and interviews with anonymous insiders, Project Waterbird was born. Between 1959 and 1971, millions of birds were supposedly exterminated using aircraft-mounted aerosol agents. The process was slow, silent, and secret. Meanwhile, robotic engineers working in hidden labs developed mechanical replicas so advanced, so lifelike, that the transition went undetected. And here's the part that chills me every time. The rollout wasn't random. The birds we see most frequently today, pigeons, sparrows, crows, are all among the most heavily concentrated in urban areas. Where do people live? Where do protests happen? Where do political rallies form? Cities, where the drones are most needed. It's not just that these robotic birds fly, they watch, they listen. Some even speculate that newer models are solar-powered, with wings coated in photovoltaic film. They can record video in 4K, analyze conversations in real time, and triangulate your location via your phone's Bluetooth signature. And you thought it was just a bird pooping on your car. Let's talk about behavior. Have you ever noticed how some birds stare at you for just a second too long? Or how they congregate on power lines, not for rest but to recharge? That's right, those power lines, not just infrastructure, they're recharging stations. The drones sit there, soak up electricity, and then return to their patrol routes. In 2001, an anonymous post on an early internet forum claimed that DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, had succeeded in developing bird-sized drones that could mimic flapping flight. A year later, a government report admitted that micro-drones were being tested for battlefield reconnaissance. They could perch and stare. Sound familiar? Even stranger is the evidence found in the guts of birds killed near military bases. According to field reports, some carcasses had circuitry where organs should have been. One hunter in Montana claimed that when he opened up a goose he'd shot, he found wires, a circuit board, and a blinking red light. His footage was mysteriously taken down from the internet within hours. The deeper you look, the more it lines up. Why did the US Geological Survey suddenly begin tagging bird migration patterns using GPS trackers? Why is there an entire branch of the government dedicated to tracking avian flu? Or is it really tracking drone malfunctions? What about the strange bird deaths en masse? Remember those flocks that suddenly dropped from the sky in 2011 and 2012? Official explanations ranged from fireworks to weather events, but insiders claim these were software failures, drones crashing due to electromagnetic interference during classified tests. Now ask yourself this: if you had access to a global mobile surveillance network that no one questioned, would you admit it? Would you ever let the truth out? Or would you build an entire world where the very idea of the sky watching you became normal? You've seen cameras on streetlights, you've seen drones flying overhead, but those are the ones they let you see. The real surveillance is feathered. It flies in flocks. It perches outside your window. It pretends to peck at breadcrumbs while scanning your retinas. And while you were busy watching TV or scrolling on your phone, it watched you back. So next time a bird lands near you and stares a little too long, smile. You're probably being recorded, because maybe, just maybe, birds aren't real. They never were.